Hey, how's it going, everyone? Um, what we have here today is an iPhone that had a lot of issues, including water damage. Um, it's kind of hard to tell. Let me see, maybe we go here directly into it. Might be able to. Let me zoom back out. It's You can see the charging port. Actually, where is my? Let me see a little bit of rust there. So the phone still turns on and everything. It just won't charge. Um, that's still a lot of corrosion here and there. It was in pretty bad shape. This phone's been through a lot. The little mark indicator's been red, meaning there's been some kind of fluid or something in there. Uh, but anyway, so after we replaced the screen, we replaced quite a few things on this phone. We just kept running back into issue after issue after issue after issue. So the last thing that we're going to do now is it'll turn on if we put a battery on here, but it will not pick up a charge with the charging port. We went on and looked inside of the charging port itself, and we did notice one of the pins was missing. So we went on and we're going to replace the actual charging port, but even with the replaced charging port, it's still not picking up a charge. So in cases like this, it usually goes back to the last thing, which is going to be Tristar. Tristar is usually what takes care of the charging on the phone. So we're going to go ahead and pull out this motherboard um, and see if we can get Tristar replaced, and should bring back the charging feature back on this device. Aside from that, weren't able to see any other issues so far. But then again, when it comes to water, you just never know. So we're going to have to start with at least replacing the charging port and Tristar. Oh, should not go on in. And we should be able to bring this phone back up. A lot of times it's just the charging port itself that gets damaged. In this case, we put another one in there and still didn't want to turn on. So let's go through this quickly. Uh-oh. Now I'm seeing something here that's not supposed to be, and I'm surprised I even saw it. This little, hold on, I will show you, because you can't see it. It's under the scope. That little tiny connector. That's usually from the connectors. So now my question is, did this come out of one right now, or was it from another one? So let's look under here real quick just to see if we have all of them. We have all of them. Probably from another repair that I did. But yeah, the little things, it's pretty much one of these little gold connectors. But I have all of mine. This one's got a little bit of corrosion on it, but nothing crazy. And yeah, I can only assume that little connector's probably from another job that I did on an iPhone 7 screen connector. And that was completely damaged. So, alright. So we'll continue to remove this board from here. And let's zoom that out real quick. Do, 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 do. this is the one where everything's connected on the antenna. I really hate these. I think the 7 or the 7 Plus, I forgot exactly. You don't have to take all this antenna off. And that comes off. And then we still got 2 more. Now in Tristar, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head on this one where it was, so I might have to go fishing for it. Might just go look on DXW. It's not that hard to find. Do we have any other standoff screws? Nope. I think we got everything. Oh, even on the connector here, you can see the water damage, how bad it is. There's a lot of corrosion on it. So, how about the charging port itself? That one looks good, just a little dirty. Okay, so let's get that back up. And let's see if we can get this logic board out of here. Another thing too, when you get all this corrosion on the boards and everything, disconnecting some of these connectors can usually break off. Do we have anything more under that one? Nope, those look fine. That one looks fine, that one looks fine. The camera one, fine. There is something that kind of catches my attention. Look like a little bit of under this camera connector right here, but it should be fine. We'll check once we put everything back together. For right now, I just want to change Tristar. And I forgot one screw. Okay. Voila. Pops right out. And the charging port, I'll replace that after Tristar. For right now, let me just take a look at this, make sure everything's good. There's no glass in here. What is that? That's fine. I'm just kind of looking over the board just to see what I find. If anything else may need attention. Ooh, that looks kind of yucky down there. So we might have some stuff underneath this plate. Let me... clean those connectors real quick. This one actually looks like it shorted something, and that might be what messed up Tristar. We can look in ZXW, see what that test point is for. Let me open up ZXW if I can. Just curious to see what that test point, what it connects to. Watch it be the Tristar. So anyways, let's go to ZXW. And let's see here real quick. This is an iPhone 6. So let's see what those. It's going to be on the front of it, which is going to be this one. And they connect here. I think the one that I saw. Let me see. So it's going to be the second one. That one right there. So it's going to be on that first one. Let me see what this connects to. So it goes to RF. Ooh. So this might be an issue with the internet for the signals. Let me see what else. Does it connect to anything on the other side? Well, worst case scenario, if we do need to change anything on there, all of the components are right here. So worst case scenario, we'll have to switch this IC if it doesn't want to connect to like Wi-Fi or something. That even says right there, I can see RF1331. But it does look a little shorted. Anyways, let's see where Tristar is on this boy. I don't remember if it was in the front on this side or I'm confusing it with another one. No. What's that one? No, it's not it. It's going to be on the other side. If I remember correctly, it's going to be over here. Which means I'm going to have to take this darn plate off of it. There you are. U1700. U1700. That's Tristar. This IC over here. And then sometimes I've seen it where Tigris goes bad as well. Tigris is down here, which is going to be, let me see. No, it's not that one. U1401. 161. Where is it? Tigris 161. It is this one. U1601. Yeah, so it was this one. So we'll probably change both. Gonna change Tristar and maybe Tigris too. We'll see. But oh yeah, we're even seeing. Sorry. Anyways, this is gonna be Tristar right here, U1700, the little IC chip. And if you see these thick gray lines, that usually means there's some kind of a shield or a huge ground. So something's probably covering this with a big shield. Sometimes there's a sticker over it. Sometimes it's a whole shield that has to get taken off. And then this one over here, U1606, it's going to be Tigris, which is the other one that I've seen that goes bad. For some reason, my luck, most of the time, if one is bad, the other one is bad. But we're going to start with the little guy right here. I mean, Tristar. And let's see. See, yep, and this one it's a whole freaking shield. Great. So, and it's a shield that it looked all damaged. So, this whole shield has to come off. This right here is going to be your memory. I've seen videos where you could actually change that. So let's say if it's a 16 gigabyte, you can pull it like 64, 512. You just need to reprogram the chip, as they call the NAND chip. But for now, we got to take this shield off. So what we'll do is, no, I'm not even going to put that in there. I'm just going to hit it with the heat. Oh, actually, let me move this antenna out of the way so it doesn't get toasty. And where's my nickel? Let's see here. I think I'm going to put my weight on it, just because it makes it easier to lift off when I'm trying to get it off. Hopefully it doesn't block. No, you have to still be able to see. Wow. It is nasty down there. It is ugly. Look at that. Look at this mess. So in this case, Tigris looks more messed up than TriStar. TriStar's over there, nice and covered up. Let me see, how hot is this? Not that hot. Good. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. But we have TriStar down here covered up. Tigris, this little guy, look at that. It is just a whole bunch of mess in there. So we'll clean this up and see what else needs to be replaced. But from the looks of this, I might need to replace more than just the IC, just to get this phone to start charging again. This is what water does to your phone. And this little fella, we'll uncover it later. I'll probably work with that later. See, and then we have, man, this just looks nasty all down here. That's where most of the water, and surprisingly, the phone still turns on. It just won't charge. So we'll see that in a minute. Let's start off by just scraping off all this nasty stuff off of it, just to kind of see more clear what looks burnt, what might still live, and what might not. This is just the worst one. Let me see if I can get a good picture of this real quick. Okay, so let's just alright, let's just start checking everything in here and pulling stuff off. This looks horrible. I might just grab another 6 and replace most of these components just in case they get weak, anything like that. Where is my flux? Flux. Bam. And then I can't even really see which way this IC goes, so I'll probably have to use another phone just to see where the direction goes. Maybe after it gets wet, maybe I'll be able to see it, but this looks like it's shorted pretty bad. Nope, I don't see anything, so let's just pull it off. Okay, so without moving it, I'm gonna see if I could find the direction of this guy, which was like this. I don't think I'll be able to. Never mind. It flew away. These things are so tiny. I think I saw it, but okay, we'll move that out of the way. Let's get the phone back in here real quick. You know what? I don't even have my fume extractor on. Let's move that forward. Let's put some more flux in here. I think I'm going to replace most of these components around here just for the sake of the phone, just to make sure that it's good. So let me just take them all off. I'm just going to pull them all off and then replace them and transfer them as I go. I might end up doing those too, but let's see what other one. We were looking at this other IC up here at the top. This little fella. I'll mess with them later. Okay, but for now, I think this is gonna do. Just in case you're curious as to how tiny those things are that I was pulling off. These are actually pretty big, but hold on, mat's still hot. Just burnt the back of my nail. That's how tiny these things are. They are just so small. Yep. Won't be able to get it to focus. I think smaller than a grain of rice. And these are actually big. The other ones are actually smaller. Let me see if I can get the smaller one so I can show you. These right here are actually tiny, tiny. They're pretty much half the size of those big ones. But let's clean up this mess real quick. No. Okay, so now I can see this a little bit better. Um, yeah, I think we'll be able to run with this for right now. Let me see if I can touch up these pads with my micro pencil. Put more flux in there. Zoom out so y'all can see what I'm doing. These are ground. They're probably not even gonna wanna. Yeah, these are grounds. Okay, let me clean up all this from it. Here's my wick. I normally don't wick these pads, but being how bad everything is, I just want to make sure everything's clean without issues. I actually need to get a smaller wick. This one's kind of big. And it works. It just makes it a little more complicated. Let me put some more flux in here. Flux makes everything a lot easier. Alright. Alright, so that does it. Let me see here real quick. Start at the top. Alright, let's see here. Where is my alcohol? I think we got one of the pads missing. Okay. Okay, so we have a pad that's missing. And I see where it goes, so we can definitely run a wire. Let me check here on ZXW something. Um, 1, 2, 3. So let me, I don't know if I can see ZXW. But the one that we ripped off was this one. So we could definitely just run a wire from there to there. No biggie. But again, usually when it comes to all this type of oxidation and everything, and um, what do you call it? I can't think of the word. My mind just went blank. Corrosion. There you go. Yeah, when all this corrosion, everything, pads get weak. It's just, it's never fun. So anyways, let's just go ahead and clean up here real quick so I can just run a quick trace. I don't know if I'm going to run it all the way, if I'm just going to run it short. But let's get all this dirt out of the way. And let's see if we can scrape it off here. Alright, so that should be more than enough. So that's where I'm going to just put an extra little short wire, just so it's extra long to reach to the bottom of our IC. So we're going to tin this wire really quick with our micro pencil. Because these wires, they're actually coated to the point where there's a special coating on them. So I have to burn off that coating off the wire in order for it to be tongue twisting here. For it to be able to stick to the darn motherboard, let's just put it that way. How about, yeah. Alrighty. Oh, that's a ton of flux that was on that needle. Okay. Who cares? We'll use it. Burn most of it off. And no, I don't want to put it on that darn little bolita. You see what happens when you have flux in there? The solder will stick to everything. It just wants to stick everywhere. That's what good flux does. Alright, so let me grab this with my freaking pencil. Tweezers. And let's solder this little dude. Let me clean this. I have way too much solder and it's just going everywhere. Alright, so that wire is good. I got too much solder in there. Let's see if I can just fix them up. Alright. Okay, so now we cut the wire. And I'm going to cut it just a little bit more just to be sure. That'll work. Okay, so we have enough solder, flux in there, so we're just going to go ahead and get our Tristar and put it on there. But before we do that, I need to look at the motherboard to look at the direction of Tristar. I just need to see if I could find another board that is a 6. These are not it. This might be a 6. And the heat shield's already off. 94V. Yep. Okay, so just to give you guys an idea, for some reason the heat shield's already off of this one. You gotta remember how nasty the other one was. I mean, this is the one that was all filthy. This is what that IC and everything should look like. Nice and clean. Now let me see what direction this darn thing goes. And you know what? I might have been talking out of my ass. Is this the one? This one says Apple. That is not even freaking Tigris. What am I talking about? Tigris is right next to TriStar up here. I just realized that I'm looking at it and I was like, that does not look like it. So this is Tigris. That's TriStar. So I don't know who this dude is over here. But that's where everything was jacked up. Anyways, it needed attention regardless. I'm just completely... You see how you think you're doing one thing and you're doing something completely the opposite? So anyways, well, let's start transferring these components. Apple this is an actual IC. I'm looking, let me see what are the numbers on it. I wish ZXW would tell me exactly the chip that it is. 1601. I have 1601 as being Tigris, so what in the world is going in here? 1610 is TriStar, and Tigris is U2300. Okay, so that's where I had them mixed up. Too many parts to remember all the numbers when they're sometimes similar. Anyways, well, let's get this guy out of here. From the looks of it, Apple goes facing that way. So if I was reading this chip, it goes that way, from this way to that way, left to right. I don't know what I'm saying here. Let's just get it done. So let's swap out. I'll still have to reball this IC chip. So put some flux on here. And this one I'm just going to pull it. I'm not even going to worry about the NAND or anything else. I'll warm up the board. Bam. Man, even the balls on the bottom look beautiful when I pulled it off. Let's see if the balls look good on the bottom of the chip itself. Where'd you go, buddy? Come back. See, technically I can use those same balls because they are perfectly fine. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use those same balls. I'm not even going to reball it. They mainly, let's see here. Yep, there it is. Okay. Then make sure we push this pin all the way down. To make sure that it's yep, okay. Now we gotta find the right way. Bam. Okay. All right, so it's ready. We just wait for the glue to finish curing, and then it should be ready in about 30 minutes. Yeah, all right. Bring on the heat. Now, this is the one I want to protect, so let me put this over here. And there you go. I just saw it sit. Give it a little nudge. And that one is ready. A little smoke. This is hot. Everything looks like it's good. Now we just need to replace these, and these all around it. I might end up replacing this guy over here. And then we'll go to Tigris, which I see a lot of corrosion on the bottom, and Tristar. Mm. These with this freaking underfill sucks. Because every time you try to remove all this stuff, guess what else comes off with it? All the little components around it. Anyways, that's done. Let's continue pulling off our other donor parts. So we'll have them next to each other. We'll have them neck to neck. No pun intended for that guy. And I still got to tin these stem pads. I might be able to use my freaking pencil. I mean my tweezers, micro tweezers. But for right now, let me just tin these pads with my solder. Clean the tip. Being that they're ground, they're usually hard to tin because the heat just goes through the whole board real quick. I mean, this device is what they're made for. So when they get hot, the heat goes throughout the whole board. So some of these will absorb the heat, and then I can't solder on there. Okay, those are good. Those are good. This one, even from the corrosion, I think it might have burned off something. And that one's good. That one's good. Okay, so I got something on them. Alright, that works for now. So, let's see if I can pull them off. Sometimes it's easier to pull them off with the heat and drop them with the heat. Sometimes these little tweezers come in handy, but believe it or not, I really don't even use the tweezers that much. Solder on there. Solder here. Uh, Come on. It's so hard, the stuff doesn't even want to come out. Anyways. No, you know what? I'm gonna do the heat. Screw this damn tweezers. It's just a lot easier and faster. So I'm gonna pull them off the camera, and then I'm gonna place them in camera. So you guys will only be able to see when I place them in there. Um, Unless I can zoom in far enough to fit both boards, but I doubt it. No, it's one or the other. So here we go. All right, got one. Ooh, burning myself here. Hepa, we got a flyer. These things will fly away. Might have to lower down the temperature, the airflow. Really, dude? Must have lost that one. Okay, so no biggie. Let's lower down the airflow before these little fellas all go everywhere. More flux. More flux there. More flux here. I'm just gonna place them myself without letting them go. There you go. Ah, dry. There you go. Okay. All right. So we got two more. Wait. No, we got one more. Okay. So now the only one that flew away. What size was it? And is it nearby? Because I don't see it. No, it's not nearby. So we're just missing this little fella right there. No biggie. We just have to go and find another one. Because that other little dude just went flying away. Is it a closed loop? Yep, it's a closed loop. So no biggie. I'll pull it off of another board here once again. Let me switch this back to the high temperature. Let me disconnect the antenna. Even though we're not, this is a parts board. Still don't want to toast anything because we could probably use that later. So we're going to heat this real quick. And it should drop any minute now. Come on. That's usually why I put this on top. So I could just pick it up myself. Sometimes it drops, sometimes it doesn't. Bam. Okay. So we have that off. Where's the little fella? that I need. Alright, so it's that second one. Well, you can stay there. Just need a little bit of flux. Come on, buddy, let it go. There you go. Ta-da! Okay, so we replaced all that on the bottom, which I don't really even know exactly what all that was, but we'll let it be. Let's move on to what initially we were going to do, which is Tristar and this, what? Oh yeah, Tristar and Tigris. Alright, once again, cover the nana, cover the nana. Let's go with a lot of air, a lot of flow, and hopefully we don't get all these components flying all over the place. And comes off. While we're at it, let me see here, the board's still hot. I'm going to clear just a little bit more of this underfill. And if I knock down any other components, oh well. I'll just replace them too. But I'm just going to replace both of these just since they're right here. Like so. Okay, so the letters are backwards on that one. And Tristar, I don't remember exactly. They were just like the apple, so the dot was just like that. So the dots on the bottom, just to confirm, we'll look at this one. Yep, dots on the same way. And Tristar, I could pull it off of this one, but I'm just going to get some brand new ones. That way I can just clean these and go from there. So the letters are backwards on this one, and then, okay, I'll remember those two things. Time to clean this mess. And here pretty much all I'm doing is I'm mixing the flux, the solder that's in there. I'm mixing leaded and unleaded solder. Some people remove everything completely from there. As I mentioned before, I don't really like to put any weight on the pads if I really have to. But unless I, ooh, that goes still real hot. Okay, so I just usually take a look at those. Depending on how bad they are, I may wick them or go over them, but those are fine, 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 fine. I just need to get that underfill. There you go. Come out of there. Okay, so now we get a new Tristar and a new do I have them out here? No. A new Tristar and a new Tigris. I'm actually running. I got about 3 more Tigris. Tristars, I got quite a few of them still. So, put a brand new one. Mm, it came out already. So that one, we'll go like that. And we'll do that one first, and then we'll do Tigris. So we'll go with that one. Lower down the flow, temperature, everything. Hold on. Kind of hard trying to get these lined up. Oh, come on, buddy. And this usually happens when you don't have flat surfaces. So the balls on the bottom of my chip are trying to, they're kind of hitting the balls on the board. But and there you go. It just had itself. Couple of nudges, and that's fine. Put flux on this one while the board is still hot too. Makes it easier when the board's already a little bit hot. So that was down that way. Gotta wait for it to sit. Oh, there you go. I'll give it a little nudgy. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this has been a lot of stuff messed up underneath here. Um, gonna brush all of this stuff off, cool the board off a little bit, get it on the air. This should bring the charging back to normal. This normally would be a lot of work, being all the water and everything. But I'm doing this more for a friend than actually somebody trying to just get something fixed. And this friend, he would have not cared about the phone. He would have just been like, whatever. I'll just get another one. He's had quite a few of them broken, water damage, and kids, they just destroy them, I guess. But that's kids. My kids luckily haven't gotten there yet, but they're still little. Once they get older, I'm pretty sure they're gonna, Dad, I broke my phone. But I get a lot of people like that. That's usually not them, but for the most part, it's pretty clean now. See all the corrosion, everything's kind of been wiped out. So fingers crossed, this should be good. Should be back to normal. So without even putting everything back together, I'm gonna just attach. Oh shoot. Let me just put it in here real quick. Why not? Let me just clean all this other corrosion real quick too off the housing. Oh, and I forgot, I still got to change the actual charging port itself since it's damaged. But right now, what I want to just mainly see is if it's gonna charge or not. There, that's there, that's there. Okay. We'll plug that in. We'll plug that in. Plug in the battery. And plug in the screen. Where is our new charging port? Hold on, let me just check something. Okay, no, that's fine. And our new charging port is here. Let me move that out of the way. Let's just hook up this charging port first. All right, so let's see if our efforts have gone to something good today. And hey, you can't see it. I wish you could. There it is. It's charging. So, there you have it. Phone that was water damaged, screen was bad, battery was bad, charging port was bad, replaced everything and it still wouldn't come back on. So we replaced those little tiny chips, Tristar, Tigris, and God knows what the other one was. It just looked really bad, so I changed it along with all those capacitors and resistors. But this one should be back to normal, so just gonna let it charge up a little bit, and then I'll be calling the customer back. And I got a customer that just walked in. See ya.